Okay, we are at Rockfish Gap. This is me and Marcus, my grandson, and he's going out on his first overnight. And then once he's done an overnight and gets picked up, I'm going to continue on for a couple days to do a shakedown. And off we go. And this is what happens when you let young legs lead. First view of the day. Okay, 2.5 miles in, what do you think?
I'm feeling pretty good.
Pretty good? Our first sit-down break, having a snack and some water. And that puts us right about halfway to the shelter. All right, heading into our last mile, most of which is going to be downhill. And boy's hanging in there pretty good. All right, here we are. This is the Paul Wolfe Shelter. 5.2 miles, and we're done for the day. And now it's dinner time. So Hiker Midnight is fast approaching. I'm all set up on the top bunk at Paul Wolfe Shelter. And this was last night's water source, and is our first obstacle coming out of camp this morning. Yep, there he goes. Them young legs. Okay. Yeah. Look, I can't see any traffic. Right about there is Rockfish Gap, where we started yesterday. It's gonna be a gorgeous day to go check this out. All right, what do you think about this, huh?
On that mountain right there, you can see a little patch of the red trees.
Uh-huh, sure can. I think you can smell the car. All right. Grandson has been deposited, and I'm heading back down the trail. So little bit of, I guess, a 0.4 blue blaze, and then we'll pick up the AT and continue from there. Well, so far, none of it's been brutal or terrible, but I'm 6.5 miles into what's looking to be a 9 or 9.5 mile climb today before I level out and get any appreciable downhill. Look at all the blooms. The trail just turned pink. Here it is. This is the spot. I wondered if I'd recognize it on going this way on the way up, but yeah, this is definitely it. Yeah. It was the morning that was supposed to be clear and 30 that was 18 with 3 inches of snow. Coming down through here where the water's all over the trail, I hit some ice right there. Yeah. Dropped my trekking pole right in that hole. That's where it snapped off and stopped my fall a little bit, but yeah. Went feet out from under me, flat on my back. Praising the Lord, I didn't hit my head. And then I got to limp out. All right, coming up to Dripping Rock, which I'm gonna go ahead and filter some water there because I'm down, and at this point it's questionable whether I'll make my open field tonight or not. So I want to have enough water to camp if I don't get that far. I've also decided that given the time window I'm looking at and how soon dark is coming, I'm going to go ahead and road walk from Dripping Rock to Reed's Gap. It'll cut some time and hopefully give me a little bit of pace. So, all right, here we go. Get me some water and on the way. Okay, so another change of plans. As I was filtering water, a local fellow named Matt pulled up, waiting for his brother-in-law Joe to come off the trail so that they could take him in, show him some home cooking and all that good stuff. And as we were talking for a minute, he offered to run me down to Love Gap, which is actually a much easier way in to Malpin Field. And I'm just willing to take that easy because my legs are screaming for all the climbing we did this morning. And yeah, so now I've got this pretty nice Forest Service road. It'll take me into Malpin Field. And probably about a half hour, 40 minutes. And get me there plenty of time to get set up before dark. And anyway, now I did forget to turn off both of my trackers, so my mileage for hiking will be all screwed up, but oh well. Anyway, off to Malpin Field. Malpin Field Shelter, my favorite tent pad, is open. Brian, you should recognize that. That's where We pitched our tent the night we camped out here. And a nice lazy start for the morning. It's almost 9 o'clock, but sitting around chatting with folks. And there's a Boy Scout troop here. There's a guy who's a former thru hiker, just out with his girlfriend for an overnight, and odds and ends. So before you know it, it's 9 o'clock. Well, here we go on a trail. And news from home gets me thinking that I'll come off tonight because there's something tomorrow I don't want to miss. But anyway, as always seems to be the case, starting with a climb, up and over 3 ridges, and then down to the Tye River. Off we go. And a nice little carpet of blossoms following last night's rain. It always amazes me, not only that somebody envisioned this trail and routed this trail, but then they came out here and built this trail. And look at all this work. I mean, I can't imagine how much effort it took to putting in these stairs, without which this trail would be probably pretty brutal. Here comes the sun. I think that rain we got this morning before I broke camp is about all we're gonna get, which is fine by me. This little area over here is where Grace and I stopped to have lunch on the first leg of her first overnight. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is it. All right, so I'm an hour and a half into the day. And I've got about another mile left of climb before I summit the high point of 3 ridges. If you don't do the climbs, you don't get the views. And here's where it's deceiving, because as soon as you say, oh yeah, this is cruisy, you got a rock or a root that's going to jump out and grab your foot. And sometimes even using your poles, the trail will reach out and grab you in your face plant. So, all right. Time to drop the pack and do a gear check. That hurt. So other than losing a water bottle out of side pocket and it rolling down the hill a few feet, everything survived. I don't think I'm damaged anywhere. certainly got my attention. Got my watch's attention too. The Garmin Fenix 7. It actually triggered an emergency alert. Would have done an SOS on the inReach had I not canceled it. So, as a shakedown is supposed to do, is identify weaknesses in your gear. I've had 2 minor gear failures this trip. One was the little ultralight saw that I've got, which had takes a jigsaw blade, which is pretty cool. Very lightweight. Now works well, but the little cover that guards the blade just snapped off, leaving the blade unshielded. So I had to split a stick and whittle a cover to tape over it to keep from tearing up my gear, and have to reach out to the guy who makes them and see what he can do about a better cover, blade cover. That and the Z-Pack's tent, the stays in the ceiling that gives it the Plexamid, gives it so it's got the little stays that give it a little extra space, and 2 of them popped through their holders and are now sticking through trying to rip the material of the tent. So that'll have to go back to Z-Packs for repair, and hopefully they've come up with a better scheme between now and then, because looking at it as it's come apart, I don't see them doing anything with what's there that's going to prevent that from happening again in the future. But anyway, we live, we learn, and I do have other tents. So I guess we'll adjust for the next trip and go from there. Yep, this is the trail. You can see the white blaze right there. So I just spent the last 15 minutes chatting with dog tags on the side of the trail. So he was coming northbound through this section on his AT through hike, and gave me one of his tags, which is really cool. Got a QR code to get me to his channel when I get done with this. So I'd heard about him on Ramdino's channel and a couple other places, I think. But yeah, got to actually meet him. And of course, I didn't even think about asking for a selfie. Oh well. Coming into Harper's Creek Shelter for a nice pack off break and lunch. And we'll see what the day looks like from there. Done with lunch. Coming out of Harper's Creek Shelter. It's the last climb of the day. Not quite a mile. And then it'll be downhill all the way to the Tye River. If all the climbs were like this, I could climb all day. Of course, they never stay that way. In the home stretch, coming down from the Malhar, about 2 miles. From what I remember, it's fairly cruisy the whole way. Downhill all the way. Hit the Tye River, get picked up and go home. Yay. They don't call it swinging bridge for nothing. Get more than one person on here and it bounces all over the place. But this is the end. Next is the road, and I'm done.